guys, it's Skipper Megan. Welcome back if you are joining me again, and if you are new, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so you can catch up and stay up to date with all of my videos. Right now I am talking about planning a Walt Disney World trip. So last week I gave you kind of a broad overview of everything I'm going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks, and today I'm going to be focusing on when to actually go on your Walt Disney World vacation. So you've decided that you're going to go, but you don't know when. What's a good time to go? What things should you avoid? That kind of thing. So the first thing that you're going to have to think about is, do you have any constraints? Are there any things that are going to prevent you from going at a certain time of year? So the main thing that would be in that category is, do you have kids that are in school so that you have to plan around their breaks? Are you yourself in school so that you have to plan around your breaks? My husband is in grad school, so we can only go when he is on a break from school. So something like that is what you're going to have to consider with constraints. So if you do have constraints, obviously that's going to mean that you're going in summer, you're going in winter, you're going for a spring break, something like that. Those are obviously going to be a little bit of a busier time. So that's just something that you're going to have to think about. Is that a time is there something that you can do to where you don't go during those times, because those are going to be busier times. The next thing that you need to think about is there something in particular that you're wanting to see that is a seasonal event? So if you're going to want to go during Halloween and see all the Halloween decorations and go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, or if you want to go and see all the Christmas lights and see Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, if you want to go to Epcot during Food and Wine Festival or Flower and Garden Festival, all of those things only happen during a certain time. So if that's something that you're going to want to go for, if you want to go for Halloween, then the best time to go for that is going to be as far away from Halloween as possible. You need to go in September. They start doing the Halloween stuff in September, actually late August a lot of times. So if you can go at that time, you're going to be able to see all of the stuff. You'll be able to schedule a not so scary Halloween party if that's something that you're wanting to go to. They do have them in September as well, just on select dates, so make sure that you check the website and see if that's going to be something that you want to do. And you'll be able to see everything without as many people being there. The closer to Halloween you get, the more people are going to be there. The same thing goes for the Christmas party. The closer you get to Christmas, the busier it's going to be. The week of Christmas and the week between Christmas and New Year's is one of the busiest, if not the busiest week at Disney World. So if you can possibly avoid going in that week, do that. So the first week of December and actually part of November is when you will want to be doing your Christmas stuff. The week of Thanksgiving is not a good week, so avoid the week of Thanksgiving in November, because a lot of people do have breaks from school and work and stuff like that, so there's going to be a lot more people in the parks at that time. So any other time in November or the first half of December up until about the 15th. After that point, it starts getting a little busier because people start getting out of school for winter break and all of that, so that's when the crowds are going to increase. So if you're wanting to go for Christmas, early November, early December, and you should be good. As far as the Food and Wine Festival and the Flower and Garden Festival go, you're going to be able to experience that pretty much however you want. It's not as big a draw as the Magic Kingdom extra ticketed events like Very Merry and Not So Scary. And so if you want to go to one of those, really any time that they're going on is a good time. The only thing I recommend as far as Food and Wine or Flower and Garden goes is, if you want to go for Flower and Garden, maybe go the second half of Flower and Garden. You don't have to wait until the last day or anything, but go towards the end of it, because that's when all of the flowers are going to be blooming. When you go at the very beginning, everything has just been planted. It might not be as full and as beautiful as if you went at the second half. One of the main things that people worry about when going to Florida is, what is the weather going to be like? Short answer, it's going to be hot. It's always hot, especially in the summer. So if you desperately want to avoid the intense heat and humidity, do not go between May and September. That is the hottest times, and you are going to be hot no matter what. I really like the heat, so that's okay for me. Even I am still very hot, but if that's something that you desperately want to avoid, try going a little bit earlier or later in the year. Mid-October it starts to get a little bit cooler, and it will stay cool until about March. So if that's something that you're interested in, avoiding the heat, think about going during those times. The same way, if cold bothers you, yes, Florida does actually still get cold sometimes. When I started my college program, I started at the very beginning of February, and I actually had to wear a jacket and gloves because it was so cold. That is the coldest 40 degrees that I have ever experienced in my life. I don't know why it was so cold, but it was. So if you are thinking, oh, I'm going to go to Florida and it's going to be still nice and warm in the middle of February, it might be warmer than where you're from. There's not going to be snow on the ground, but it is still going to be a little chilly, so do keep that in mind as well. We all know that Disney World is going to be crowded all the time. But if you want to avoid the super massive crazy crowds, then there's a couple of times that you really definitely should not go. Basically, the entire summer is going to be crowded. If you go in early to late May, basically the month of May is about as calm as you're going to see the summer months be. But June, July, August, it's going to be very crowded up until the kids go back to school in late August, early September. Once they go back to school, from about September on, it's going to be a little bit less crowded. So if crowds are going to be a problem for you, if at all possible, do try to avoid those summer months. Like I mentioned earlier, you should avoid the second half of December, from about the 15th or 16th on until the beginning of the new year. It is going to be packed. One that people probably don't consider is spring break time. The end of March and the first week of April are always going to be very crowded because that's a spring break priority time, so a lot of people are going to be able to take trips then, once again, because kids are out of school. If kids are going to be out of school, it's going to be crowded. Just a general rule of thumb. So if you are someone who wants to avoid crowds, if you do have the opportunity to go while classes are in session, then do that, because that's when you're going to have the best opportunity of avoiding the most crowds. So you've established that you are going to take a trip, you know when you're going to go. The main thing you need to consider now is how long do you want to stay. So I always recommend you spend at least 7 to 10 days at Disney World. Now that doesn't mean that you spend 7 to 10 days in Disney World. You will be run ragged. You cannot go for 7 to 10 days straight at Disney and not take a break. So I say that you schedule your vacation in Florida for 7 to 10 days and you plan on 5 or 6 of those days being in the parks. Obviously 5 days if you're staying for 7 and 6 to 7 days if you're going to be staying for about 10 days. That just gives you the opportunity to have a couple of rest days, because even if you are a seasoned Disney veteran, you will get tired being at Disney. It will drain you. You cannot get there for park open at rope drop and stay until the final fireworks show at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night and not be tired. Every time we go, we get there at park open, and sometimes we're there all day and it's exhausting. You can't do that for 5 or 6 days and still enjoy every single thing that you're doing. So having those rest days to be able to just stay in the hotel a little bit later, sleep in, go check out Disney Springs, go to the outlet malls, just hang around the hotel and let the kids play in the pool. Anything like that where you're going to be able to just take a break, not have to think about where are we going next, what's our next fast pass, where's our reservation. Being able to take that break and have that rest time is going to be so beneficial, and you're going to really enjoy your time so much more when you're not feeling so rushed and feeling like you have to pack every single thing in all day, every day for your entire vacation. Going along with how long you want to stay, you're going to need to think about your tickets. So ticket prices do change with the number of days that you're going to be staying there. If you want to stay for just one day for whatever reason, the prices are going to change depending on the time of year that you go. So I will link the website down below where you can check out all of the ticket prices, and they can show you the days that tickets prices will be at either value, regular, or peak pricing for one-day tickets. The longer you are going to be on property, the cheaper the tickets are going to get per day. So if you're there for 2 days, it's going to be about $100 a person per day, and if you stay to 10 days, it's going to be $44 per day per person. So if you're staying somewhere between there, the prices are going to decrease a little bit for each day that you're going to be on property, and obviously those are per person prices. Like I said, I'm going to link the website down below. You can check all of that information out. One of the options that you're going to be given when you are scheduling and purchasing your tickets is going to be to put a park hopper option onto your ticket package. Park hopper just basically enables you to hop from one park to the other. So you're in Magic Kingdom and you can go to Animal Kingdom without paying another entrance fee. This is only beneficial if you have specific things in each park that you definitely want to do and you don't have a day to dedicate to each park. If you're only going to be there for 3 days and you're going to want to do a couple of things in each park, and you couldn't just have a 1 park per day ticket. Other than that, I would recommend, if you're going to be able to be there for 4, 5, 6 days, just do the 1 park per day ticket option, because there's going to be so much for you to do in each park anyway. You're going to waste a lot of time getting transportation to and from each park. You're going to lose minimum an hour trying to get from one park to another, because buses do not run from park to park. You can only get a bus to a resort and then from a resort to another park, so it's going to take you a lot of time, a couple of bus transfers. If you have a car, it'll be a little bit faster. But still, if this is your first trip, I recommend just staying in 1 park. Just pick 1 park, stay there, do everything you can in that one day, and then the next day, pick another park. Go and enjoy that park, and don't worry about being able to get from one to the other. So that is it for our first segment, the when to go part of our Walt Disney World trip planning series. I hope you enjoyed it, and next week I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this planning process, so make sure you check back, hit that red button down there, make sure you subscribe so you can follow along with me, and I will see y'all later. Bye!